would be good. Yeah. Yeah, they're flipping and bowling. I believe you can throw about anywhere right here. But let me get you into me a little better, I guess. Yeah, it should be slam full. Awesome, bro. Help, help. What a bunch of mullet. Look at that, dude. They're solid on top of the water. They got a freaking head sticking out. Black and mullet. Y'all can see that color. Black and mullet over there. Black and mullet right here. We'll go get some of these. Need a hand?
Nope, I got it. Go ahead.
Which side do you want? Hey, don't get my sticker. Beautiful throw.
Good, that's good. Forward a little. Pull it down slow.
Balling solid in the water. Balling freaking solid.
Oh my God, Alan. Oh,
Better than before.
it was way better than before.
Hey, look at them in the water. They are just as solid. They're solid as they can be.
Look at this net full.
Woo! Look at it. It's freaking solid in it. It's gonna be the best one for sure.
Holy crap. They solid, brother. They solid.
Cast net fishing for mullet. Good afternoon, freedom fighters. It is 12:49 p.m. 9/20/25, September 20th. Been a while, over a month, I believe, since I've made a video. Just a little bit of my life. Pretty grand times we used to have out here on the water. It's all gone, my friends. We used to ride through miles of fish looking for good bottom to fish on. And now we just don't see any fish. It used to be unbelievable mullet. Gill netting was a lot better than cast netting because a lot of these fish start out as male and end in female. And the reason I say it's true because we don't catch many small females during roe season. It's always male mullet or the tiny ones. So they most likely, just like grouper and other fish, parrotfish, they change sex as they get older. Very easy in species like fish. Not humans though. Ironically, the commercial fishermen had to clean up the red tide mess. And the man you just seen cast netting mullet with me is this guy here, Tolly. He's also a shrimper, and he was down there helping clean up the nightmare of the dead fish. I was in Alaska at this time. They were getting paid to clean up the dead fish. You know what I mean? That's just a nightmare. I know most of these guys. Piney Point fertilizer plant was released, is why all of this was killed. We lost everything due to red tide. We have had massive fish kills. This is 2018. It has been going on for a very long time. And it's not just Piney Point fertilizer plant, it's more. I've been off for a while trying to think about what do I do next. I created this platform of mine to try to show what I was seeing in our skies, that it was no longer natural. The amount of life I've seen disappear in my 50 years is incredible. And if I was 30 years old, I wouldn't notice it. A 20-year-old definitely doesn't notice it. But someone that's in their 50s and remembers 1977 very clearly, that there is no longer insects. There is no longer the bird population I was surrounded by growing up. 3 billion fewer birds compared to my youth. Let that sink in. These, when I say that these trees used to be full of life, insects and birds, I'm not kidding. 70% of insects has been lost. The reason I made my platform was for the animals with no voice. And we are censored on every level. 2,500 commercial fishermen on Facebook. No one sees my material because it's important. Kittens standing on their paws, you can get all kinds of views, but nothing important. I find the sound of nature beautiful. The, when I see insects, I had a dragonfly land on me while I was working. It was beautiful, not scary. We are losing our planet, and there's nothing I can do about it. I seen patents where they were using weather balloons. Here seems to be an article. Electrical experiments. They've been controlling our weather for a very long time and understanding manipulation of our weather for a very long time, anyhow. They hauled my life off in bags. Never talking about the elephant in the sky. Nightmares. I no longer know what to believe in history. All rescued. Seemed like the 15th, everything was fine. And when you read articles from the 16th, the story changed. I think they towed her back out in the deep water. Badly damaged. And it looked like a mine explosion when I look at the pictures now that I looked at it more detail. The next day, the story changed. No lives lost on the 15th. Still on the 15th, passengers rescued. Here's her being towed by her chain, tugged beside her. Damage kind of high up in the, looks kind of high up and at the waterline. Could have been icebergs. We could had something that pushed the Gulf Stream farther to the south that year. It said it was calm, so it wasn't a lot of wind. We have ocean currents because of the rotation of our planet. Our tide currents has nothing to do with the rotational currents of our ocean. Our tidal currents have nothing to do with the currents of our ocean. Two different things going on. I wish I could see the date of this, but Vancouver. On the 15th, they were reporting no lives lost. On the 16th, they were reporting the ship sunk in 4 hours, excuse me. Here's the New York Times. Obviously, this is their newspaper and always has been since its conception, but 16th, it's already saying that the people that was important may be missing. I bet they were missing. Incredible paintings already coming out or stuff already on the 16th. You know, something's kind of odd about this photo here to me. Pretty quickly made, you know. The 16th, the story changed. Just what I noticed by looking up just the date. I didn't look up nothing to do with Titanic. All I did was look up April 15th. Takes many boatloads. See, the Catapion might be the Titanic. I don't know. They kind of switched the ships there at one time. If you've studied the Titanic's deception, they switched the ships out. Pretty brilliant people controlling us. They really are. In a sense that money controls everything. They might not be common sense brilliant, but money can control anyone. For just 30 pieces of silver, Judea betrayed Jesus. Greed will destroy us all. They will pay off anyone to destroy anyone else. They have the power, they have the money. I just want you to realize what kind of money they had at that time. The 2014, 1914, they sunk. Yeah, 900 million by then. That is a phenomenal amount of money. Over $1 billion by 16. I guess they did. They own the world. And he's the little guy compared to the Rothschilds. You know what I mean? Thank you, Warriors, for staying with me for 14 minutes. I want to look at the live satellite. Since somebody told me the satellites aren't real, how do we get all these images? Oh, they're hung from balloons. I can only imagine what they had to say to me. But I can watch the satellites very distinctly at night while I'm making my first couple drags shrimping. Look like moving stars is all it looks like. But I want to go over this morning's stratospheric aerosol injection over New York and Pennsylvania, very heavy. Probably have to reload now that I zoomed in, but very heavy spraying. There's always solid aircraft here. Yesterday there was no aircraft spraying, but this morning it was an operation, and it worries me when I see these tight operations. I'm like, what are they spraying? Didn't seem to have to do anything with weather, but it falls to the earth. I've showed many of fallout videos of falling back to the Gulf. And very heavy spraying over this area as well this morning. Gonna make it reload there. See, no spraying yesterday. Aircraft there still, but no operation. Your normal aircraft. But this morning they woke up to a very, very heavy operation. Almost looked like they had the star symbol that I see sometimes in the sky starting there. But just unbelievable lines from aircraft. The live from the meteorologists, the CIA controlled meteorologists, and it's just ice. As they're talking about sorry, my mic was up a little bit. Talk about the $100 billion operation or $10 billion operation, $100 million operation. I keep hearing different numbers of just blocking the sun out. And check out this video that I made of them circling in the Gulf. And I wish I'd have made one more after it spread out, but I did not. I should have. I got to get more back into this. I'm just so brokenhearted over it, my friends. We're surrounded by incredible towers and stuff that I see offshore that used to not be in Florida. Unbelievable towers now when I get offshore here where you can no longer see land lights because the curvature of the earth. You can see all the towers still. And it's incredible what they got up. Energy. Major energy we are surrounded by. Okay, my friends, I'm going out in the Gulf here, and you can see a thin line here of aircraft doing a circle. Well, he already did it 1, 2, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Might be another one there too. But I'm like, what in the world is like circles out here? You can see the backside of it, and I've also can go on live satellite and show you these circles from live satellite that does exist. Some lunatic was saying there's no such thing as satellites. I've been GPS tracking my boat with satellites since the 90s or late 90s. Mercy. People have no idea what's going on, do they? But here, let me play this short video. I wish I'd have did one more because all this spread it out as the sunset, and it was incredible. But you can see a line of chemtrails, heavy, heavy spray day here. For about 4 days, they did this to us, and now it's clear. I don't know if they can see that, but it's an aircraft doing circles out in the Gulf. I'll zoom in a little more, but he did several circles. Trying to get a photo of it. He's doing circles out there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rings. The big rings is what got my attention. Then I could see his little rings. Heavy spraying for days, but they're out here just doing circles. That's not an aircraft going anywhere. He's out here doing circles, blocking out the sun. Clouds that doesn't block the sun, it filters the sun. Where we know we get some of the worst light of the sun. But that's all their chemicals. Out there doing circles. You can really see it already spreading out from the time I started the video. See how it's thin? And it got a lot thicker there. Move on. Check out this beam of light. To me, the camera didn't quite pick it up quite as good, but the sun is setting. The pink is from the sun, but you can see the pink kind of goes through the cloud. I mean, up into the cloud, I guess. Kind of beyond where the rain's falling out of it, maybe. But something's unusual here, this beam. And the pink is only from the sunset itself, in my opinion, but it is hitting something beyond rain. All of this is rain. I've never seen a rainbow that wasn't curved in my life. Straight up and down rainbows do not exist because the light source is circular. And if you fly up high enough where you're not on the horizon, you can actually see a circle rainbow. You can also do this with water hoses and stuff as well. The whole light's a circle, so you could get a whole rainbow as a circle. But it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've also seen double rainbows that are really pretty, but this is not a rainbow. But let's play the whole thing out. It's got a very beautiful sunset, but the beam was very distinct when I looked out. I'm like, what is that? Rainbows are curved. This is not curved. This the sunlight hitting something is why it's pink, in my opinion. But this was just a couple days ago. I was watching the beautiful sunset and I'm looking at the storm. I don't know what that is. It's not really like a rainbow. That's what it looks like in real life. You know, to my eyes, I can see that beam. What is that? Kind of a pinkish beam. I'm not sure what that is. Beautiful sunset right now, but that beam of light doesn't make any sense to me. There's the sun. Really pretty. Got a lot of reflection going on in it. But you can still see that kind of pinkish beam. About to get a storm on us. Really pretty storm, but I don't know what the beams were. Oh, there goes the sun. Beautiful. Last little bit. Beautiful life we have. Got a rig out, standing by. That was pretty sunset, wasn't it? There's a beautiful squall there. I had a weird beam of light. I don't really see it now. Very unusual. Beautiful though. The beam of light's gone because the sun's gone. The reflections are gone off of it. You can still see the sun hitting the high clouds because of the curvature of the earth. The horizon's blocking it where we are. Coolest thing taking off in Seattle, Washington, going to Alaska. I watched the sunset at the airport and we took off maybe an hour later. I can't remember exact time, but as soon as we got up to 30,000 feet, I could see the sun again, and flying north, it never went away. When I landed in Anchorage, it was still somewhat daylight. Pretty crazy planet we live on. My friend that works on the North Slope, he has 24 hours of daylight in the summertime, and it's going to be very dark in the winter for him. It's for a short time, it's 24 hours darkness there in northern part of Alaska. Speaking of Alaska, I see they're having so-called red tide events. Otters dying, seabirds dying. This is 5 months ago, around April 1st. Unbelievable geoengineering shipping taking place. No ships are going through these islands like this and doing circles or loops. I want to go over a few of the larger operations I have recorded. This is the geoengineering shipping operation with some natural island wakes, with some unnatural ripples. Moving on. Not natural though, they're spraying it out. And there's chemtrails up here as well. But unbelievable ship activity. That's not natural. They are smoking out our oceans with these chemicals called ocean brightening, which is actually dimming. It doesn't make any sense. My uncle and I was talking, and he says, I bet these pilots think they're trying to save the planet. All of these people working here believe they're trying to save something, and it's destroying it, as I've showed from the insects and the bird die-off and loss of our fish worldwide. Got to think about that. Over 2 billion birds are missing, almost 3 billion. Here I want to show you the largest chemtrail operation I've ever recorded. This is from October of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Every single line here is an aircraft spraying us. Has nothing to do with condensation in the sky. This is one of the largest operations I've ever recorded. Good morning, guys. Largest operation I've ever recorded up to date still. And I went outside and you would not believe the lines. It's incredible what they did. I'll let it put in motion here a little bit, but I have recorded some incredible operations and it's done no good. I find the people want to argue about whether the earth is flat instead of important stuff, how to save the earth. Telling me that satellites ain't real when I've navigated the oceans with GPS satellite systems my entire existence here that they gave it to us. And before that, we had time differential devices where they did it off towers. Our entire globe is mapped out down to the inches in navigation. I want y'all to realize that this is not some big illusion of what our planet is. The illusion is how they've created arguments amongst the people like I've never seen before. I've had YouTube since it started, since '07. Nowhere did we argue about nonsense like they do now. It's brought on purpose. Largest operation I've ever witnessed here, and wonder why the birds are dying. Why there's no insects. I can sit outside and won't even see a mosquito anymore. How much longer till we're gone? And I hadn't even brought up the trees that are dying. It's this unbelievable loss of our forests. No one seems to care. I told my friend if I was a bricklayer or carpenter, I might not notice any of this. I might see a lack of birds, maybe. I don't know. I think I'm just, as a fisherman, I'm more connected. I'm more connected than my family was as a child, actually. Even my uncles that did fish, I seen it differently. I didn't do it for profit. It was just an incredible journey through life. If the Egyptians taught me anything, that you cannot take any of this with you, whether you believe in God or not. And trust me, everybody's worshiping something, whether it's themselves or money or Trump, the devil himself. I see people worshiping that. We need to come back to the Lord. And with all that, I want to leave you with a word of advice from the late Phil Robertson, my mentor in finding how to worship the Lord. Extremely good video. And somebody's did a new one at home with Phil. At home with Phil. My whole life, I thought I knew all the answers, and I couldn't have been more wrong. And at my deepest, darkest hour of my life, I believe, when they took over my fish houses in Alaska and my price went from $1.15 to 17 cents, and I wanted retribution, and I asked the Lord to take the pain away from me, and He did. Without any question, I have no answers, but He did. Let the Lord take the pain away from you. And I believe our country would be a great place again if we all come back to the Lord. Love each other. How awful is that? Some really good words here from Phil, and I'm going to leave y'all with this, and hopefully it'll let me finish. My computer's full of stuff. So, standing by. God bless y'all that believes.
Just a question. We all turn to God and understand how precious life is. Would the murder rate go down if Jesus was number one in your life? All of us, 320 million in the United States of America, would the murder rate drop if they put their faith in Jesus and they loved God and they loved each other? Would the murder rate drop? Would the theft rate drop? Would the anger rate drop? Would the immoral way, would that drop? Would the corruption, would it drop? I bet you $1,000,000 the murder rate and all the rest of it would drop if we just did what God said. Love Him and love each other. It's going to take repentance on the part of you folks out there who are listening to me. Oh, well, that old stuff, you know, in the Bible. They've spent $6 trillion since Lyndon B. Johnson. We're going to make the great society. We're going to bring the poor and the downtrodden and take care of them all. 6 trillion later, you say, are the poor still there? You say, more than there was before the $6 trillion changed hands. Where'd it go? Where'd all the money go? There's syringes, feces, filth on all the streets of the big cities in America. People just laying out on the road. You're like, what in the world? You evildoers frustrate the plans of the poor. Whoa, what a beautiful city, really? The feces, human dung, hypodermic needles, you gotta watch where you step. You're like, I thought we had people that cared about the poor. The Lord is their refuge. You go to God. You'll pack your tent up on the street. You'll do what's right. Go to work. Others will help you. The ones in the Lord. Oh, that salvation for Israel, our salvation comes from the Jews, would come out of Zion. When the Lord restores the fortunes of his people, he's talking about what he's going to do through Jesus, way in the future. This is Psalms 14, way before Jesus. Let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. The promise is made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You'll be blessed among all the peoples on earth when Jesus comes. Well, Jesus did come, and guess what? Most of the United States are saying, or at least half of them, there is no Jesus, no Savior, no God. Lord, who may dwell in your sanctuary? Who are you going to let in? Who may live on your holy hill? Which ones are you going to get out of that wicked, corrupt bunch? Who's he going to let in? He whose walk is blameless and who does what is righteous, who speaks the truth from his heart and has no slander on his lips, on his tongue, who does his neighbor no wrong and casts no slur on his fellow man, who despises a vile man but honors those who fear the Lord, who keeps his oath, even when it hurts. Jesus, number one. What was it? Psalms 14 and 15. Just a couple of little texts out of the Bible. This Jesus, he'll change your life. You'll go from evil to good, from corrupt to godly righteousness. Come on, for crying out loud. Come on. I baptized a little woman yesterday. She heard what I said. All I did was tell her what God said. She came out of the audience. We didn't have like what they call an altar call. I just presented things like what you just heard. She walks up to me. She said, Phil, you said that the Lord Jesus, who died for us and was buried and raised for us, the resurrection, you said if we would repent and make him Lord and be born again of water and the Spirit, we could get out of here alive. She said, do I need to go bring back some extra clothes? because I'm fixing to be wet? I said, girl. I said, girl. I called her girl. I said, girl. I said, they've got some old clothes you can put on back there. And I said, then you can get back in your clothes you came with. I said, we'll provide that. I said, I can baptize you right now if that's what you want. She said, hold my purse. She started handing her purse, and she said, I want to follow Jesus. I walked back up on a pool of water. She confessed Jesus would be her Lord from that day forward, that moment forward. And I quoted Romans chapter 6 to her. She was dying to sin and being buried. What they didn't have in Genesis 6, or the psalmist, what I read from the Old Testament, but it's here now, because he's here now. I baptized her. She hugged me. She said, I don't know what to say. I said, just follow God, girl. Follow God. You're going to be okay. She's saved. Child of the resurrection. That was yesterday. Today, I'm telling you the same thing I told her. It would sure change you, and if everybody decided to follow Jesus from this day forth, it really would have a profound effect on our people in the United States and the world. Profound. Just a thought. Think about it. Until next time, coffee break.
Well, my friends, I'll let y'all go. Little last look here. Very unusual hurricane season this year. Mainly it's been attacking Mexico area. Unbelievable hurricanes has slammed this coast this year. Millions of acres of fires. I didn't cover the trees this time. Like I said, the trees are unbelievably missing here. Quickly dying out. Maybe people start realizing when the last tree is removed. But darkness is taking over Italy while the sun is just rising in Hawaii. Commercial fishermen standing by. Hope you understand why I make these videos. Show the evil ones. Standing by.